but we'll be able to survive just fine as Tiger. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a little sidetracked. So we were waiting on the results of this match, Team Divine 2.0 versus Team Gut Corki. And rather than give us any results, they went to Game 3. So rather than sit here and wait for 6 minutes, we're going to instead... That's how long the game's going to take, Daniel. It's going to be exactly 6 minutes. It's going to be fine. It's a
that's
prediction.
Quite the stop of a series that's 1-1 right now.
So rather than wait for Game 3 to play out off-screen, we decided to hop on in, and we're going to let it play out on the screen. We're going to take a look as they go through Game number 3. That's all the information I have. That was my housekeeping, Daniel. Take it away.
Very nice. I just want to point out before we get anything going here is that we have a player in this game whose name is Roasty and Toasty 69, and I just wanted to say that nice. Anyway,
and
you're just gonna leave me hanging anyway.
No, sorry, I was multitasking. And we are getting some words in from the other games right now, and those will be updating as we go along. So by the time this game ends, we should be able to bring you up to date on what's going on in the rest of the bracket. In the meantime, check it out. And I'm going to remember to bring the music all the way down this time. It's game number 3 between Team Gut Corki over on the left, the blue side, and Team Divine 2.0 over on the right, the red side.
And we don't have the bands, do we, for this?
We do not. I'm not in that chat channel, unfortunately.
I was going to say, I assumed they would have banned Corki since their name is Team Gut Corki, but they let it through. Not only did they let it through, but their opponents got Corki. First pick.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. That's like that just seems mean.
Your name is Gut Corki. Your name is Gut Corki, and you let through Corki.
You know what? That's actually shaken my faith so much that I'm going to make sure I have the rosters the right way around. Yeah, no, I had them the right way around. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
You may recognize the name Proxer from Arena of Valor, and that's all I've got as far as player story.
Okay, while we were away for a second, I looked at the name Zukate Kuto, and I was like, TJ must say that name in our broadcast. It must happen. Zukate Kuto.
Zukate Kuto.
That's pretty good. Okay.
Thank you.
And by the way, I have never seen a game with both Zaya and Rakan in there. I don't even what is their synergy? I forgot. I literally have not seen a game with both of them.
Well, their kits just are built to complement each other. So Rakan is a very good support for Zaya. Because they can jump in, create setup, and then jump back to Zaya, who does have their own survivability options, and plays really well around the short skirmishes that Rakan enables. I don't actually think it works super well in Wild Rift, but I also just haven't really liked Rakan in Wild Rift. Overall, I really like these team compositions, though. The Zaya Rakan bot lane will be completing Team Gut Corki's composition, as presumably that Jarvan is going into the jungle, and the Zaya will be down in the bottom lane. You also have Aurelion Sol in mid, so they have a really fun team fight where the Jarvan wants to start things off with the Cataclysm, jump into the front lines, and then behind it the whole time you can have that Zaya Rakan duo laying in damage. Aurelion Sol can come into that Cataclysm kind of cauldron, throw in some big stuns. Like, this is a really good teamfight composition, I think, overall from Team Gut Corki. But They're playing into Mundo Brom Galio Gragas, which is the most chonk I have ever seen on an esports team, with the Corki to do damage behind it.
Yeah, that is pretty chunky, I must say. 1 second. I think, can you move the scoreboard assistant? Because it's
I
blocking. Thank you
absolutely
very
can.
much.
And guess what? I learned
Zoom!
how to zoom out. Woo!
Yes. By the way, okay, I was looking up, and I remember that Zaya and Rakan, they actually can recall together back. Like, they can kind of join each other recall times. But then
Correct.
the other thing is that, or one of them, I don't know if this is the exhaustive list of what how they specifically synergize with each other. I think that when Zaya uses her second ability, Rakan gains the effects of that ability. So that's kind of cool too. But those are like specific things to them, not just like, it's not
And
just synergizing with in general.
they do like witty banter the whole time. They're like, you're so cute, and then Rakan's like, no, you're so cute, and that's what it's like to play bot lane.
You know, I've played, I had a lot of fun playing Zaya, and not in ranked, but just in general. And I've never had a Rakan play with me. It's very
That's so sad. You know what? I will be the Rakan to your Zaya, Daniel. You wanna just
Nice.
play ranked with me sometime?
Sometime, yeah. Anyway.
Very defensive start, but that's what you expect when you're running Mundo Jungle into Jarvan Jungle. Your first ganks are to come when this Jarvan hits level 5, has Cataclysm up. That's really the first time that a gank is viable. Unless the Mundo just wants to walk at people, which Kuto may want to.
He may want to do something like walk at them, which he's prone to do. Wow. Okay, let's go a bit of trouble. The Aurelion tool has to actually flash on out of there. Mundo actually got a nerf just recently because apparently his jungle Mundo was too strong, which surprised me.
I'm really shocked by Sly's positioning there. That was just a little bit of a mistake. They walk so far forward in this lane because they're trying to keep up with the Galio, trying to bully the melee. Have to burn the flash as a result, and that's going to suck because as we just missed that exchange, the Galio taunt is like what you want to be able to flash to disengage from, and that's just not up now.
Yeah, that could be certainly problematic going forward. You can see why he's trying to be aggressive. This might not be a good plan, though.
Yeah, there is a Braum here. Over the wall goes Roasty. Cataclysm will be deployed onto the Braum. Mystic may be dead here. Stalling on the backlines, though. They're able to stun things up. X-Slack comes in. A double stun as the kill comes through for the backlines. Now a double kill to Soju Rain. As that complements very well with the entire kit, the entire team fight we were talking about earlier.
You don't really... I wouldn't ever think of a fight as humorous, but that's the first time I thought of a fight that looked just humorous, just completely back and forth the entire time, and not really sure who was going to take it in the end. Not really sure why they popped the ult on the Braum of all things, and then all of a sudden Sly comes in with a massive wave. Like, what is that? Take it up too, and then they win the fight. That was just humorous. That's all I can say about that.
Sly comes in just occupying a quarter of the screen. You're like,
more than that.
This fight's over. I see. Oh, explosive cast.
I don't know if I'm. Yeah, I didn't get the kill at the end though. I don't know if I was happy or sad that it was zoomed out because it was zoomed out, you saw it coming from a mile away. Like, oh my goodness, what is that? But if it wasn't zoomed out, all of a sudden you just see two people just completely blow it up. Like, where did he come from? It was pretty fun.
The explosive cask did burn a flash, though, which is very important for early Fiora. That pretty effectively negates her kill threat in lane. And that is why this Fiora has just left lane versus the top lane.
Yeah, the last game, which involved two different teams, we saw an amazing Fiora kind of snowball her way. But if she doesn't snowball, then she's a little bit useless because she doesn't do much in team fights. So she really needs to be bowling her lane, or else there's not really any point for her.
Over the wall, Galio on top, heroic entrance burned. Drake will go over successfully to Team Divine. Not much more to it.
Yeah, this is why having such a beefy team is very nice, because you saw this, the kind of poke in, the slight invade, if you will, from the blue team, and then red team was just kind of like, we're not gonna die, so it's fine. We're fine. Don't worry. We're not even worried right now.
Want to flag Jinjin did just pick up the Corki package. Overall, this game is actually very close, 16k to 18k. The board split pretty evenly. And here comes the biggest stun in the universe. As X-Sly finds the max range, Valkyrie will be burned by Jinjin to stay alive. And that successfully disengages them. Team Divine get away with it.
That's actually so interesting to me because both teams immediately switched sides upon the dragon being taken. They both rotated their dual lane over to that Baron side. Yeah. I wonder if that's something that they did consistently in games 1 and 2, so they knew it was coming. And the thing is, not only did they swap, but you saw that Sly immediately went over there, realizing that was going to be the case. So both these teams kind of, feeling each other, realizing how the other team played after the first couple games, it seems.
Yeah, the lane swap is the right thing to do, especially in Wild Rift, where the Rift Herald is so important. Playmaker should be aware of all these people bearing down on them. Flashes will be burned.
Ooh.
Glacial Fissure does find the knock-up. Playmaker will survive, though, and that Featherstorm from Shoju does so much damage. The Blade Caller ripping through and ensuring a one-for-one trade. Now the step forward, that's 2. Root will land. Wavy in trouble as Zello comes through to clean up. Kuroku's gone. Mystic Wavy will fall. A triple kill to Shoju as they absolutely decimate the top lane team fight. And that's why you lane swap, because this Rift Herald is free.
A beautiful play here from the side of Team Gut Corki, which is weird to say because Corki's on the other side. Anyway, I digress. So well played by them. The only death in that entire fight was from Playmaker, and he was the one who made the plays in the beginning, dodging and juking and jiving and making sure he didn't get killed. He stayed alive just long enough to force an entire tower dive from the side of Team Divine here, and that meant that they were just cleaned up on the backside by the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff. I think my major takeaway from that fight... Oh, you didn't see anything. I did just pull out the top bar. I think my major takeaway is just how effective this Xayah is. I talked about it during the kind of preamble to our first series, but I do think Xayah is the second or first best AD carry, depending on your composition right now. I think Kai'Sa is better if you have other sources of damage on your team and a lot of good frontline. But if you don't have a really strong, beefy frontline, then Xayah is better because Xayah has that Featherstorm that it just allows you to survive absolutely anything, as we saw there in lane, and has a disgustingly long range.
Yeah, you saw the massive dive. They're only able to pick up the Rakan, and the Xayah was just able to dodge everything else out there. And the longer you stay to fight with Xayah, the scarier it gets, right? Because you see all these feathers on the ground, and then it's like, wait, those are coming for me, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Those feathers are going to rip through me in just a moment's notice, and that was certainly used to great use there to pick up that last fight.
Kuta did kind of threaten the roam here. This is all a vision setup for this Drake. You can see that there is vision here for both teams. They both have a ward in the pin. Shoju will start things off down bottom. Jinjin with the very well-timed Valkyrie stays ahead of the Blade Caller. And that kind of resets river control to neutral.
I want to talk about what we referenced in the start of the game, the beefy side of a Team Divine 2.0 on the right side here, because it lends to a game that snowballs one direction or the other. And now that they can't really jump on their opponents without getting massively damaged, it could be trouble for them.
Heroic entrance in. Nobody caught in it. Backlines. Jinjin barely survives. Zello will complete the kill in the pit. The Drake is just being burned. It'll be secured successfully by Team Divine. A huge smite fight victory, but Kuto pays for it with their life. Dies 2 for 1 in the trading. Team Divine do get the Drake, but Team Gut Corki find the kills. Now they'll go in looking for more. A big Blade Caller route again. Shoju with the Featherstorm presses forward and finds the kills. Proxer will barely survive.
And here comes Sly. He's like, I want some of the fun here. Actually does push away the Gragas, but that was really well done by our dual lane pair. The lovers once again, Rakan and Xayah, doing so much work, particularly with Xayah raining down that damage as goes with his namesake, Soju Rain, raining down the Soju and the feathers here.
Yeah, I'm also just gonna, as we have the gold up right now, point to the incredible farm currently sitting on Shoju, because they are at $1,000 in the bank, or your local currency of choice. And that is
Bitcoin.
unlocking their third completed item now with the rapid-fire cannon. You know, further increasing the range, and there is just no way anyone successfully wins a fight if Soju stays alive.
And it's very hard for Team Divine to jump on the Xayah here because they don't really have very mobile champions. They're just more beefy.
Yeah.
Right? And
it's like Gragas is their assassin, kinda. That's like it.
Yeah. That's not gonna really help unless he lands a massive ult that just pushes Xayah to the front lines, and even then, you know, she has the Feather Storm, so it's like you can't really pin her down. It's gonna be problematic.
Pressure in mid lane will be deployed. Rift Herald does get a turret lane, or a turret in the bottom lane. Wow. Proxer did win their fight versus Zella. That's kind of your.
What do you call the? What do you call the ticks on the turrets? The
plates.
Like the third. Plates.
Turret plates.
They got a plate.
So a little bit more gold picked up. As Playmaker trying to find the grand entrance underneath the turret. There was nobody at range to get them out. A little bit of a lover's quarrel in the midline.
Yeah, Playmaker, you're not going to make any plays without your lover soldier right here, unfortunately. One thing going here for Team Divine is that they do have two of the dragons, and they've really forced that issue, right? They're at home in those confined spaces, and the dragon kind of forcing their team to be towards them. So if there's one way for Team Divine to get back into this, is continue to take these objectives and kind of force Team Gut Corki to be in tight spaces.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about, like, okay, there's a complete mess inside the pit. Which jungler is going to survive long enough to win the smite fight? Mundo? Or Jarvan? The answer is Mundo all the way.
Which is ironic, because Jarvan actually has an ult that keeps you in the same place with him, but...
But Mundo doesn't care. As we like to say in League of Legends PC, Mundo goes wherever he pleases.
Yeah, one thing that we're going to have to see on this, potentially on the side of Team Gut Corki, is some Grievous runes building in order to deal with this Mundo. Otherwise, he could turn into a problem.
Switching over to the Fog of War here for Team Divine, you can see they have exactly one ward, but enough to cover. The Drake fight is starting with the Baron. As we do start things off here in the jungle. Playmaker overextends again, and this time gets punished for it. Playmaker will die. And Proxer there to cut off Roasty as well. They're going to go in for the full fight. Huge damage. Roasty is just dead. 1 HP. Burning and gone. Zello takes the front lines. Braum stunned up. Will be dodged by the riposte as Sly and Soju come around the side. That's going to force the team back. They need to deal with these two damage threats before they go for the Baron. They can't go for the Baron with the Xayah up.
Yeah.
That's the power of Soju.
Yeah, the thing is, Xayah was across the map when Rakan died.
I cannot believe this. Daniel, they won the fight, and they're still going to just lose the objective trade.
That's what just happens. Like, because you can't really go for anything. You can't chase down, you know, the Aurelion Soul and the Xayah, and you can't take the objective because they're going to poke you down. So this actually just makes sense if you look at it, but like you mentioned, it's totally unexpected when you just lay down the facts like that.
Oh.
Whoops, yeah. A little too late there.
Playmaker and Roasty will show up to defend this mid turret. Huge grand entrance, good charm as well from Playmaker, living up to their name, and this will lock down Kuto inside the Cataclysm. Mundo goes wherever he pleases, though. He'll survive for now. Zello steps up to try and find a fight, but everyone's going to be fine.
Okay, Jarvan needs to stop ulting Mundo unless they have Grievous Wounds on someone. Like, this can't happen anymore. He just doesn't die. And keep in mind, Team Gut Corki has been ahead by 7,000 plus gold the entire time, and they still can't burn on the Mundo. So something has to change here. Just don't ult him or build Grievous Wounds. One of the two, or both, you know.
We do have some anti-heal being built right now. Exactly one Oblivion Orb. That's... Oh, we also have Executioner's Calling. Okay, I'll take it back. We got a decent amount of anti-heal, actually.
Okay, well, they're doing what I'm asking for, which is a start.
Drake will be coming up soon. This will be the Elder Drake. The Baron is up. And I'd like to do the thing I tried to do before and kind of got cut off by a team fight and show vision. Because as you can see kind of from the way that they're pushing, Team Divine are not entirely sure what's going on. They do not have the vision on the opposite side of the map. Proxer in trouble. Bottom side. Zello wins this fight now. Over the wall. Lands the vital strike. And will confirm the kill.
That is absolutely huge here because you saw, even though Team Gut Corki was ahead, has been ahead by quite a bit for this entire time, it's been hard to secure any kills because of the massive health bars near the side. And now that they've gotten that kill, they can really start pushing their advantage. Fiora can start split pushing. That kind of forces people to kind of cover that lane, and then they can maybe take an injected like this Baron.
Yeah, Team Divine not really able to win these team fights because they just have so much less damage. And maybe if the game goes on, like, I do think HP in Wild Rift is a little, like, overtuned right now. If you just build rule stats, health matters a ton. So Mundo maybe as the game goes on, like, becomes scarier. But right now, I don't see a way back into this.
Yeah, the thing is, neither team is really capable of taking the Baron, right? Because if Team Divine tries to take it, then they just get poked down on the backside. If Team Gut Corki tries to take it, then at some point there's going to be invade from Team Divine, and they have to turn and face them, and they can't just delete them because of all the health bars, right?
Yeah.
So they're taking all this damage from the Baron, and then it takes a while to kill the opponent.
Also,
neither team really has a safe way to do this.
Their take is Xayah Aurelion Soul, which is not a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I mean, the Xayah does have damage, but it's not the kind of damage you need to take Baron.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, definitely not like, the crazy auto attack of the other champions are. She can pop her second ability, which helps quite a bit, but that by itself is not going to do it.
Oh, Zello. In for the assassination. Proxer lands the body slam and calls his friends on his phone.
They have phones in Wild Rift?
Yeah.
Is that like a new addition?
I guarantee you Gragas has like a Samsung or something.
Is it in his barrel, in his cask?
Yeah, he reaches into the cask, is in a little waterproof container. Floating in all the beer. Hey, this lady with a sword is trying to mess me up. That's what Gragas sounds like. Elder Drake is on the board, and it looks like we're going to start things off. Kudo.
I wonder what the positioning here is.
Uh-oh. Kudo all alone. If he goes down, this is over. Kudo caught in the Cataclysm. It's too far. And in the meantime, Glacial Fissure has interrupted the entire team fight as a big double taunt lands. Kuroko starting things off with a bang. Zello will turn. Shoju zoned off. Zello does find the kill. Kuto's the player to fall, but the other jungler, Roasty, is down instantly in trade. With such low HP bars, everyone on Team Divine just needs to run for their lives. Two players gone as Playmaker steps forward. Proxer and Kuroko under threat. Sly can't close the deal. I don't know if they can take Elder.
It is a 3-4-3. It's so fortunate for the side of Divine, though, that they got away with a 3v3 because their health bars were so extremely low in the end. It doesn't
Are they going to do
well
it
for them for future fights.
Proxer's like unaware of this. They absolutely could have made this a fight, but Proxer's on the top side of the map. Oh. And as a result, Kuroko just walks forward into a 1v3 and dies. That absolutely could have been a serious contest. The Elder will not fully reset. Just stop my heart for a moment. And they do barely have enough HP. This could have absolutely been a serious contest. This is a huge misplay from Team Divine. I don't know what they're doing topside. They're trading a tower for Elder Infernal Drake. Like, that's actually a very big mistake.
Yeah, if you go all the way back to the beginning of this game, when Team Divine, they tried to take the Baron, they got kind of like poked out a little bit, and then, or they won the fight, and then they end up giving away the Drake. This is kind of a similar situation, except reverse, right? They could have had the foresight to be able to contest, but they didn't, and that's been the difference in this game, basically, right? The Team Gut Corki has taken advantages when they can, and Team Divine just hasn't.
I'm going to see if I can find the numbers on their Drake. It doesn't look like it'll show them to me. But they do have, like, 2 Drakes in the bag, amped up by the Elder. They have so much true damage now. That maybe just ends this.
Yeah, they just have so much more damage on the side here, or so many more advantages on the side of Team Gut Corki, and to be able to take these team fights. Not to mention, the continuous 7K gold lead. Although I'm surprised it's still this close after all this time, despite them winning most of these fights and being 15-6.
How did we clicked away from Zello for a second, and they like covered the entirety of the map? Inhibitor turret does fall in the bottom side. 2 kills are found in the jungle, and this will be for the Baron. Kuto, flash in,
Playmaker.
big taunt, they steal it! I don't think any of them will survive this though. Kuto dives the backline onto Shoju and cannot complete the kill. Shoju will survive with very low HP, and that means that this game is very likely over, but it's going to take a little bit longer because we now got the Baron minions.
There's 2 alive. There's 2 alive, and their best wave clearers are alive, so that's a big deal. And they have super minions that can push out, or the Baron buff minions, I should say. So yeah, this game is just not over yet. It's just not. I'm glad we're casting it, by the way. I'm glad we're casting it.
I'm glad we got to broadcast.
What is going on?
Yeah. Imagine if we were just waiting for this
on?
game to finish in the next lobby.
What are they doing? By the way, your 6-minute prediction could not be any more wrong right now.
I'm hoping we end on a multiple of 6. And I can just be like, that's what I thought.
666 seconds. By the way, just to go back to the conversation earlier, if there's a smite battle for my life, I want Kuto taking it because he wins every single time. He's getting every single one of these. Yeah.
And some of these, like some of them we're talking about where it's just a mess in the pit and you're like, oh, Roasty, dies before the HP is low enough. That last one for Baron was entirely fair. That was just a 50-50 fight. Here we go. They need to win this. Good Glacial Fissure. Good kill. Playmaker dead, but the damage is just so strong right now. Zello, Roasty in. Cataclysm buys 3. Sly with a massive stun. 4 players stunned up inside that Cataclysm. And the dive goes behind the turret. That might be a little bit too far. Shoju is very low, but they do find the kills, and nobody is alive. Nobody's got GA. That will be game.
That was the fight that Team Gut Corki was looking for the entire game. Just a fight out in the open where Soju Rain can rain on the damage. That's what they got in the end, and that's what turned it into game.
So, game number 3 in this series does go to Team Gut Corki, and they will advance to our next round here at the Stacks Gamehouse Wild Rift Invitational.
The fact that it went 3 games, though, that means they only get 5 points. They would have gotten more if it were a sweep. I'm not sure who won the first and second games, however.
Oh my god. Sorry, he's 15-0. Show me the numbers.
They couldn't, it was very well played by Soju, especially getting the early advantage, but they couldn't get to him, or her, I don't know, them. There's no way for Team Divine to even touch them, and they just went off.
Okay, but I'm going to show you a different graph. Let me see, how do I do this? I go here. This is the gold graph for the entire game, and at no point was it less than like 5,000 gold. At no point was the difference less than 5,000. They crossed that line after the first Rift Herald take, and then we just never go back down.
I mean, that said though, it was between 7K and like 8K for a long time, like 10 minutes straight, which is, a credit to Team Divide, and just goes to show how resilient they were. But it was just weird. Like Team Gut Corki couldn't run away with the game until the very last fight.
Yeah, a really, really good game from both sides, I think, is the real takeaway. Team Gut Corki do advance, but Team Divine definitely showed some strength as well. I am going to call out that Baron misplay, or that Elder Drake misplay. I very rarely am that direct, because obviously there's stuff we're not considering, we're not in the teams, but that was very obviously a mistake. Mm-hmm.
You like to tell teams what's up all the time. Come on.
I'm
reformed on the information, the knowledge.
Oh, hey. Look at this. Can you see this? I just got a notification on my computer to do Wild Rift with D2. All right.
Snooze it.
Daniel, we're going to do some more Wild Rift. We do have many more games to go. I'm going to pull up the bracket very quickly so we can take a look at those round 1 results, kind of what happened during that time. We are going to be broadcasting Team Gut Corki versus TribeGaming next. And you can see how we got there. TribeGaming 2-0'd J4F. Shogunate, of course, won also on the stream. Team Divine just lost versus Team Gut Corki on broadcast. Nagura did beat out KND in a 2-1 match that won all 3 games. So, that leads to the standings as they currently are. We're going to be back with round 2 in just a moment. You won't want to miss it. More of this Stacks Gamehouse Wild Rift Invitational right after this.